Lads, hello you lovelies. Just watched the penultimate episode of What If Season 3, episode 7 of 8 of What If. Brought us Storm into the animated MCU, and I am oh so very happy to see Aurora Monroe teaming up with the Alliance. We got Captain Carter, we got the new introduction of Birdie, which I didn't expect. We got Kahori. I really dug this episode. This was the energy I was hoping for this whole season. Gonna talk all about it, but first, if you're new to this page, please hit that subscription bell. I want to keep growing this beast. We just hit 40,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a giveaway of 50 comics when I hit 50K. So please hit that subscription bell. Also, please leave a comment below. Definitely want to talk about this episode and all of its implications. And I love that we've formed like a little comic store. We can talk all about comics in the comments below. And also hit that like so I know you like this video, because the algorithm likes it, but also I like knowing that you've enjoyed this journey. So comment, like, subscribe. But let's talk about the episode itself. We got an episode that felt like the show had been more cohesive than the other led episodes led us to believe. I really honestly think if they'd sprinkled in some of these story drives, I think is the best term. If they'd given us some of these story drives throughout the season, like any one of them, like Uatu instigating things throughout, or if we'd seen flashes of Birdie in other episodes removed into continuity, and you're like, who's that girl? And then we see the episode with Howard the Duck and Darcy, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, now we know why we had that episode of the crazy birth. But giving us more context to her before we had the episode with the two of them would have made that a lot more impactful. I also think I would not have teased Storm. I would have kept Storm as the big reveal, but I think if you'd given us Captain Carter fighting the squid, as well as the tease of Birdie as an adult, as well as Kahori maybe with Captain Carter, so you've got some intrigue there, then the Storm reveal would have still been impactful. Then the episode with Howard the Duck would have been more like, oh, this is a big moment of reveal. But it also would have given the entire season more of a driving through line, something to make it feel more cohesive, because I think even a lot of the episodes that are like 28 minutes, if they'd been 29 minutes, 28 of the episode with a little button at the end that felt like there was something we were all steering to, even if the episode isn't your cup of tea, you're going to feel more of a connection to keep watching, to keep the through line, because this, I honestly will say, is one of the more roller coastery experiences I've had of the highs and lows. Like, I think that the highs were very high. I think that episode 2 with Agatha and Kingo, the Eternals episode, is a high. I think the Buddy Cop episode with Red Guardian and Winter Soldier is a high. But those are the only two like highs before this episode. And, 3 out of 7, not the best track record for coherence or consistency. If you'd given us at least one of those two, coherence of this is all leading to something, that would have felt more like season 2, which I think is the strongest What If season, or the consistency. I don't know if the type of show that it is, you can kind of guarantee a consistency, because I think a lot of the strength of this show is finding what audiences connect to. I connect to Buddy Cop stuff, so I really dug that episode. I connect to old Hollywood as well as Eternals. I connect to that episode. I'm sure there are so many people by the time this episode is aired that loved the Gundam stuff, that loved the Hulkzilla, that loved those things. There are probably a lot of Western fans that really connected there. But by the nature of What If, and by the nature of the variables and the versatility of them, you're not going to be able to be consistent in everyone being attached to the show. So I think in lieu of consistency, you go for coherence, and you have some through line in each episode connecting you. Even if it's just Uatu messing up stuff. He has done it in the past in prior seasons. We saw the Eminence make choices that, like, he's got to stop messing around. This is unacceptable. But if you'd had it more consistent, so the stakes were rising throughout, that would have felt a little different. That said, this episode was really strong. I loved Aurora Monroe, having her be, the full goddess wielding Mjolnir, having her have the power to, almost cross into the fifth dimension with that combination of all of her attributes was wonderful. Having her be the force of strength, but also empathy, because that's Storm. She has strength and empathy. Being the one listening to Captain Carter is so beautiful. Also being a leader, a commander. She leads X-Men, and she also is someone who's been through a lot and can be empathetic. I also love Captain Carter being the evolved version of herself we've gotten to after 3 years. I really love that Kahori felt like a mic drop moment, that we've gotten to the point where that character from season 2 feels impactful to appear as a cameo appearance. I also really dig that Birdie is a payoff. That, like, that weird episode has a point in the future, and her being a cosmic entity makes the stakes of the Alliance even bigger. We've got our own little A-Force, this all-female Avengers, but each of them is such a big figure. Like, Kahori is an ancestral leader of generational power. Storm is a goddess and is worthy of wielding Mjolnir. Captain Carter we've lived with for these 3 seasons, and through this season, we've met Birdie, who is a huge character. I love that. I also love hearing the Exiles name drop. Exiles is an incredible X-Men kind of team where it deals with multidimensional stuff and variants and different multidimensional versions of characters that form a team, and just the Exiles name drop. That is what these characters are. That makes me so happy as a comic nerd. As you can tell from my tone, this episode worked a lot more for me. I do think they could have sprinkled in a little bit more of this Ultron concept. I do like that it ties back into season 1's Ultron. I do like that it's going to feel like a nice circular journey by the time the 3 seasons are up. It'll be a nice, completed arc for the 3. His unheel turn, his face turn felt a little fast. I do wish we'd had, maybe through flashbacks or through other Ultrons, seen them, try to rationalize this force. But I do like the overall message of life is conflict, and peace isn't the absence of life. You need life in order to have peace. You need people to exist in order for them to be thriving or succeeding. You need life to exist, whether it's people or not. You need life to be something that exists for peace to be present. So I like that Ultron's like black or white thinking, his ones and zero thinking evolves, and that's a cool concept for people to evolve into something else, and I think that really worked for me. So would have liked a little bit more there, but I think overall it worked. That Vision Ultron, that Infinite Ultron has really evolved. Seeing the Kang chair was interesting, and how Kang's chair is going to be still an important element of the 5th dimension. Seeing our Infinite Ultron wielding the Kang chair to solve these problems was fascinating. I will always wonder what the original Kang storyline was going to be, whether Kang would have been in this teaming up with Infinite Ultron, whether he would have been a big bad or a big good. Very curious about Kang overall, since the Kang chair is still obviously prevalent here, but we'll never know. That is a what if. What if we knew what Kang was originally meant to be in phase 4 and 5? But overall, very excited for this part 1 of 2. Very excited for this cliffhanger. Very excited to dive into episode 8, the finale of not just the season, but the series finale. It seems like this is the end of What If. The series finale of What If is tomorrow. So please hit that notification bell. Stay tuned for those thoughts. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of episode 7. Please hit that like so I know you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought of Aurora Monroe joining in. Oh, I'm so freaking excited to see Storm. Let me know what you thought of this episode overall. Let me know what you thought of this season overall, and give me any predictions today before we get episode 8, the finale, tomorrow, because I'd love to hear what your journey has been. It's been a hell of a thing, and there is canonical comic book history where Storm has wielded Mjolnir, so I'd recommend reading those if you want something that feels like this episode. It made me oh so very happy. And it's the holidays, so I hope you're having a very holly jolly one, a very merry one in this weird liminal space between Christmas and New Year's where we're just existing. I hope you're existing wonderfully. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the finale of What If.